Really? How are you?
I'm not. Over and I get my jacket and my hands are dirty.
No, but I mean, just.
Send it to carrying all kinds of stuff.
I'm just gonna make it. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, we'll wait on you.
Somebody says.
Somebody's dream. My nightmare, your dream. Well, absolutely, but yes.
You know when I got done? When I got done with all that RFP stuff? 115.
Did you have the letters for
We had the stop.
No, Mr. Candy. Lay it down, Patrick. What?
Yeah. What company did Daniel run?
Oh, he was talking to somebody. How's it going?
I know. She's going to be. She'll give us.
He's coming down tomorrow morning.
Other than that, we're just
Wednesday morning.
we selling you a house, but you can't look at the house.
Right.
So we determine the price.
Exactly.
Did you ever do that?
Actually, well, kind of, yes. Auctions.com is one of those
Yeah,
things.
but you know what you're getting.
Municipal day.
Oh, well, yeah.
I've got it on my desk.
You just don't get to see it.
Yeah, we only see a picture.
Yeah, on the outside. Yeah. Thank you. Miss Shannon, while you're here and while I am thinking about it.
A nice job. Okay, go ahead.
I have the 2 trips to Albuquerque. I just need to get an expense report.
Need to do what?
I've got the 2 trips that we did in January and yes, and I just need to get an expense report turned in.
She's a fiery redhead.
Let me email you one.
Okay, or I'll come by tomorrow, hopefully, and I can fill it out on site. You have it. They're both the same thing, so same whatever. But anyway, if I remember about midnight, occasionally.
Every once in a while.
So quiet. I was like,
But
All right,
anyway,
so we're gonna do 2 expense reports, one for each.
one for the Lee County evening with Lee County, and then the other one was
Municipal
the
day.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Well, Commissioner.
he's not here. Is he coming?
Same old. Okay, so one of you 2 commissioners get to take over for Mr. Gandy. So.
Oh, why can't you?
That's his sister.
His sister.
He's my
Why can't
backup
I?
husband.
Because I can't.
Because you can't.
Oh, on the reading.
On the
I'm always the backup plan.
Well, this is a perfect one to be doing. I mean,
Yeah.
I got 2 things to do.
This is
it's quick.
Yeah, this is good.
Once you want to
I know.
time
I
save.
keep thinking that, that's it.
You haven't done it in so long though, Dave.
Talk about the office guy.
Yeah. You want to practice?
That's right.
No. He's all, no. You got a loud mouth.
They group here tonight.
You got your cheat sheet for going into closed session?
I got it in that little black book right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's handy.
That's handy. I can grab it. Handy. I just keep finding things I thought I looked at. No, we just got these on.
I'm like,
You literally got them like 4 minutes ago, yeah.
I'm gonna put all this Scotty but not his check. I'll put his check. Hey, you wanna keep that? Since bruh isn't here.
That was on me for, it was so much, throwing everything at her, I was like. Alright.
Wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute. That's big leg. We can say that instead.
There was a video that Star asked her where she said it is on our we need us to say that we can, but we
Oh, that's not the,
That's not it.
it's written out, it's on the back of something.
It's usually laying right there. It's usually right there. Somebody's
Yeah, that's just the procedure. We're
somebody's
looking for
been in
the,
Scotty's book. No, I don't have it.
well, ask, well, it stays here, right?
Everybody still spills.
Start with the C.
No, that's a girl name.
Well, no, not that one. There's a guy. Good evening. I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, where is your English session? It's not in your book. It's not.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're all tripping out. It's not. There's closed meeting I know. There's closed meeting procedure. It says motion, but it doesn't have the word. Send me a picture of it.
He's sending you a picture of it? Oh, well,
That's not it.
that is not it. It's on, I'm trying to think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Won't say hit the head.
Okay. Okay, well, let's see, we better ask Shannon if she's got one real here.
Do you have one of the closed session procedures? Scotty's is gone.
Oh, I had it last time.
We have 13. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah? I was fixing to say, that was just the other day.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah.
It is it? Oh, I just remember it.
I'll tell you what.
That's just the procedure too.
Yeah.
We'll just try it.
Oh, just add that too.
We said, we also have to make sure. We also have to make sure.
Are you sick? Are you sick?
Even though we all fly into that.
Are you good, Kevin? We're a couple of minutes, not just being 2 minutes away, but we gotta get her caught up here
The
real quick.
sound worn.
Okay.
Bless your little Well, I've run over you too, if I can find you. There we go. Alright. Get done, whoever.
I'll let you know, that's right. Okay. So what we determined?
This is it. You just, you're not reading it.
Well,
You read this,
yeah.
and then you come out and you say, I like to make a motion to, I'd like to make a motion to go back into open session, the matters
I can tune it for you if you want.
You can do it too. You want to drive this car?
It's easy to go read. Andrew says it's hard to go out sometimes. Gotta read everything backwards.
But it doesn't say closed session here. I can make a motion, go into closed session pursuant to that.
Yeah, section, whatever it is.
Yeah, just read that line and that's it.
I can do it.
We should tell him he just cannot be missing on those nights anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
And he'll tell me something else. You can't
I'm
miss
sure he
me.
will.
Why don't you come running? Reversing it. I told him the other day, you just back out of stuff all the time. Just backing out of everything every time I turn around. Permanent backup.
I'm looking for. I know, I realize that. It had in one of these, it had the listing for who the winners were for the 3 different levels. I just gotta find it again. Well, no, it's in here. Here it is right there. There's what I was looking for. All right.
You found it?
I did.
All right, we're good now.
Are you ready, Roddy?
I'm getting there, sir. I had to get, right, I
Your makeup done?
had to get Commissioner White lined out, and then I had to get my own.
Get me lined out.
Okay, are we ready? All right. I call this meeting of the Lovington City Commission to order. Shannon, roll call, please.
Mayor Roberts,
I'm here.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Here.
Commissioner Bolt,
Here.
Commissioner White.
Here.
Your minutes will show that Commissioner Gandy is not present.
All right. Commissioner Trio, will you lead us in our invocation?
Yes, Commissioner Bolt.
Okay. Please bow your heads. Pray with me. Dear Lord, let us take a moment to pause and give thanks. We are grateful for the opportunity to serve our community with wisdom, compassion, and integrity. May our discussions tonight be guided by understanding and a shared commitment to the well-being of all who call Lovington home. We offer a special thanks to the Lovington Autism Center for Education and Services, better known by the title LACES, for your dedication, education, and care that makes a lasting impact on the lives of individuals and families in our community. May we continue to work together in service and unity. In your name we pray again. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Bolt. Join us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
May be seated. All right. We are ready. The floor will
Like
open
to make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
as submitted. Okay, I have a motion second to approve the agenda as submitted. Any discussion, corrections? Hearing none. Shannon?
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Yes. Like to make a motion for consideration of the minutes of March 24th, 2025.
Yes, second.
Okay, I have a motion for consideration of the minutes. Any additions, corrections, discussion? Hearing none. Shannon?
Mayor Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Well, I would like to take this time to welcome everyone that's in attendance this evening. You know, one of the best parts of being up here is the ability and the honoring of either a group of individuals, an organization, or just sometimes people, not just a person. who goes out of their way to make our community better. This evening, and I'm referencing a well-known movie, we have a major award winner with us. And at this time, I would like anyone that's associated with the LACES program of Lovington, New Mexico, just to kind of come forward to the podium. Stand there for just a minute. I'm just going to give a little background for everyone that's in attendance or listening. For 30 years, NSBA's Magna Awards program has celebrated innovative school district programs. This year's winning programs, 3 grand prize winners and 12 silver award winners, represent the enormous and creative efforts of school leaders and district staff to reinvent and rethink education of their students, staff, and communities. Congratulations to our grand prize winner, LACES. Now, a little bit more, just so everybody understands, this is not a state award, this is a national award. The 3 grand prize award-winning programs are basically on the size of the school district. There was one of 20,000 or more enrollment, which was the Maryland's Charles County Public Schools, expansion of mental health services. The 5,000 to 20,000 enrollment was California's Compton Unified School District. And the under 5,000 enrollment was New Mexico's Lovington Municipal Schools, Lovington Autism Center for Education and Services, better known to our local group as LACES. And so at this time, first of all, I'd like you to stand. And let's give this group a round of applause for being a national award winner. You may be seated. Not you four. If you would, just quickly kind of give your name and position and what you do for LACES. In any order you choose.
Yeah, okay. My name is Cheryl Amundsen. I'm the lead special education teacher for LACES, and been working there for about 15 years since it started, and so.
I'm Coach Q. I've been there, I think this is my 8th year, and I do PE and strength and conditioning and whatever else I need to do.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Courtney Watson. I teach the early intervention class, so most ages K through 2nd. And I've been there with Cheryl since we started 15 years ago.
All right.
I'm Steve Barone, and I'm the principal of 6th Grade Academy, and LACES falls under my umbrella as well.
Okay. If you don't mind, you know, we don't really get to honor groups a lot, especially something of this magnitude. Tell us how you got to the awards program, and it doesn't matter however you want to handle that.
Well, we were actually considered because of Superintendent Pam Quinones. She has always been a big supporter of our program, and she had gone to the award ceremony several years just through going to the NSBA conferences, and they always had, and she's like, we have a program that could rival these programs that are winning, that kind of a mentality. And so she nominated us earlier in the year. We didn't know much about it. We had, videographers come in just during our regular day. And we had to, just kind of describe what we do and those kind of things. And then one day we just got a notice that we won, but it was her idea to nominate us for that award. And so we went to Atlanta to receive it last weekend. And we went with Superintendent Quinones and Roger Hine is the special ed director, and Mark Mapes another special ed director, and then us and
2 board members.
couple board. Oh yeah, because it is a school board administration. So
Sure.
we had Darren Maker, the school board president, and then Patty Ann Ansel, who was also on the school board. And so we all went to the program, and while we were there, we got recognized, and it was a pretty special event. And then we also gave a presentation during one of their breakout sessions about LACES, because the goal of the program is whenever all districts are faced with similar challenges a lot of times. And so the increasing prevalence of autism and the way that traditional classrooms sometimes just don't match with our students, and what you can do to support those kids in a different way. So that's something that is being felt by all districts. And so we went basically to say, this is what we did, this is how we did it, these were our successes, these were our failures, how could you recreate what we did if you're interested, and learn from how we did it. And so everything worked out great, and it was nice to be recognized, and we are super proud of our program.
This is quite an achievement, and we are certainly proud for you to represent the Lovington School District and City of Lovington. I have one more question. I'm trying not to make it hard, but
Nope.
when you get recognized to this level, you kind of feel like you do something extra or out of the ordinary in some area. What are your highlights? If you could pick a couple of highlights of our program against the rest of the nation, what would those be?
Well, I think that's pretty easy. I think our student successes speak for themselves, but what we are faced with a lot of times whenever we're developing LACES, number one, we had a lot of parents that had students with autism that were asking us for help, and it was new to us, it was new to them. We just felt like we couldn't necessarily answer their questions correctly. Like, we want to help, but we don't know enough. And so we got training, and having staff turnover was a big deal, and those kind of things. So the fact that we have a team that follows our students throughout their educational career and creates that consistency. So in Lovington, we have a kindergarten building, we have a first grade building, we have a second grade building. So it's really hard for us, because just by the time our kids have moved on to 1 grade, that teacher figures them out midway. They start understanding what makes them tick, what helps, what doesn't help. And then there's a brand new building with a brand new set of staff. It doesn't matter what kind of communication you have, it really makes it hard for our kids. So we're a team that follows that kid through their entire educational staff. We set up the appropriate teachers for the upcoming year. We can take tours. We can talk to teachers about this is what you need to know in general education building. And then also just having these same people that know you well and figure you out and have high expectations. Sometimes our kids aren't, people don't necessarily know the capacity that they have. And so I think that's what helps with us. Having trained staff, a lot of districts really struggle with people that kind of know a little bit. This is what we hear. I think whenever you think about our students, we've had several students that have come from other districts that haven't been able to stay in school, and they get sent home every day for behaviors. That happens pretty frequently. And so we'll have someone move to Lovington or move into our district or come to our school, and my daughter has been kicked out of school. She gets sent home by 8:30, 9 o'clock every day, and we understand that that's not really an option for our kids. And so, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's really
Do you
good.
have anything else that you all like to add?
Yeah.
I think you could tell them how much the program's grown.
Well, yes, definitely. When we first started, we had 14 students, and we were kind of just going to have this little thing with a little bit of staff. And then to date, we have 66 students that attend LACES for either a portion of their day. Some kids come for an hour or two, because as we know, autism affects everybody differently. Some people are in the gifted program and have autism. They're in all general ed classes and they have autism. We can support them outside of our building. But if they come some kids will spend their whole day there because their needs are more significant. They might not be able to speak. They need to learn how to communicate through something else. And so it looks so different. So we have 66 kids that at some point in their day attend our program, whether it's for therapy or the full day of academics or social skill instruction. But then some kids are in the district in their regular classrooms, and we support them as well.
Awesome.
Does that make sense? So 66 that go, maybe 120, 130 kids diagnosed with autism in our district.
Amazing.
A lot, yes. But right now, they was just released new numbers that they think that it's about 1 in 31 students will receive a diagnosis of autism. A lot of that is because we're identifying higher functioning people and understanding traits and understand that it's become less of a stigma attached to the diagnosis. It's just a means to get support and to kind of understand differences in learning. And so those numbers have also created just a need for a program like ours.
All right, I'm going to open the floor real quickly. Commissioners, any questions? Anything you'd like to say at this point?
I have no questions, but I would definitely
The
like to
floor
say
is yours,
Thank you all
Commissioner.
very much. Really appreciate it for Lovington, for autism. Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff, anybody? Okay, finally, anybody in the audience have anything they'd like to ask? Oh, wait a minute.
I just want to thank you guys for your program because I know my grandson, he would be sent home every day if you guys would help him out. So,
Right.
thank you.
That's great. Great kid. Yeah.
All right, well, I understand, and I'm kind of torn of which way I want to. I think I'm going to come down and I'm going to present you with our proclamation, and then we will watch you have a video. So we'll do that. Normally, Mr. Miranda, I think we're going to have to ask you to be a photographer or get somebody.
Or I'll get it, Rob.
Right there.
Oh, you got it? Oh,
We got it.
yeah.
Okay, somebody's got it because we don't even have press here this evening. All right, City of Lovington.
Yep.
Whereas the Lovington LACES program was established in 2010 to provide instruction and support to students diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. And whereas the staff emphasizes traditional academic services as well as teaching independence, self-advocacy, functional and social skills, and provides an environment that fosters their ability to become active members of their academic classes, peer groups, and eventually society. And whereas the Lovington LACES program has provided education, therapies, and services to more than 150 students with autism. And whereas Lovington LACES was recently recognized as one of 3 grand prize winners by the National School Board Association Magna Awards program. Now therefore, I, Robbie Roberts, Mayor of Lovington, New Mexico, do hereby proclaim April 14, 2025 as Lovington LACES Day throughout the city of Lovington. Thank you all so much
Thank you.
for everything you do.
Thank you.
All right, then I'm gonna come around and I don't care how we wanna
Well,
do this.
yeah.
Can you see all right? I guess you seem to be the.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna-
Spokesperson.
1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, I have to be.
And then Rob, well, after you get the hops,
Yes.
this one's for John.
Thank you.
I'm going to take one for John.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right.
Can you tell us how Lighted Up Blue went this year?
Oh yeah, Light Up Blue is our annual autism awareness and acceptance events. Yeah, it's also a fundraiser for our program.
Yep.
And so it was really well attended. We think over 2,500 people came. I mean, we had more vendors and traffic and lots of kids having lots of fun. And our community, we're really lucky how our community supports LACES. It's been a big part of our success. So it is a fundraiser for the program, but most importantly, it's just a fun day to have our kids feel celebrated and have our community know that, work toward inclusion of our students.
All right. Well, thank you all again. And congratulations on your recognition.
Thank you.
Is there sound?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Bring it back.
All right.
Success of the LACES program reflects two core beliefs of our school district. First, we believe all children can learn in the right environment. And secondly, family support is critical to a child's success.
Without LACES program, our students would struggle every year. They would change schools. By the time the teacher figures out this one student with autism, the year's probably gone by.
What we hear over and over again is like, I don't have any friends. I have a hard time fitting in. And so when they come here, they see a lot of kids that are just like them, and it makes sense.
The biggest misconception for students with autism is that they are not intelligent, that they will not be able to learn, which we know that that is just not true.
What we know is that autism is a spectrum, and people are affected in different ways. We have kids here of all different ability levels, and you just meet them where they're at. You know, our end goal is that they are able to join the general education environment and just be good students and good contributing, accepted members of Lovington.
A major component of LACES that makes this whole building work is that we have instructional assistants that have been trained, that have big hearts, they do big jobs here. They are the reason that we can keep it all going.
We wanted them to get some physical activity in them, and some lifting is a great activity. You know, develops not only their muscles, but their joints, their tendons, and it gives them the discipline to do something that they hadn't done before.
A couple of things that we do focus on in my classroom is communication failure assistance device, which is iPads. We also work on life skills, like brushing their teeth, learning how to put their shoes on, opening packages.
Successes of LACES is community count because it can be anywhere from learning to live independently, tie your shoes, get dressed.
We have kids now that are going on and playing sports at the junior high. They walk a little taller and feel a little more confident.
I just want for the students to be understood and to be able to ask for what they need. And that's one of the things that I want them to be able to do in order for them to grow.
We want to support our students in their home environment. We want to definitely, make sure that they're receiving the academic and life skills that they need in the school environment, and that they're also accepted and understood by and celebrated by our community.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, this just illustrates that no matter how small your community is, you can set the bar for our nation. And it's just an honor to present y'all. All right. Moving along, this brings us to our commissioners and staff report. Ms. Shannon, do you have anything for us this evening?
No, sir, not right now.
All righty. Isabel?
No, sir.
All right, Chief.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, our officer activity for the month of April is calls of service was 1,124. Self-initiated calls were 465. Had 115 citations with 42 arrests. Code enforcement's activity for the same time frame was 322 code calls, 91 code warnings, and 231 citations. We have one uncertified police officer that started April the 7th, and we have another certified officer that's in the process. And we're deep in the process of the RFP with the awning and the police fire complex. And at this time, I have Lacey Barron with the Enterprise that like to say a couple words. I have a packet in front of y'all.
Okay. Yes.
Hello, everybody. Thank
Good
you so
evening.
much for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I appreciate this opportunity to be here. I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Lacey Barron. I'm with Enterprise Fleet Management. A little bit about me. I'm born and raised in El Paso. Been with Enterprise for 13 years and now live in Albuquerque. I've managed their fleets, small, mid, multiple divisions, and work with a lot of different government agencies able to bring our solutions in today. I've been working with Chief Clark to evaluate the PD's fleet and what we could potentially do for the city of Lovington. I believe you guys have my packet, my synopsis in front of you. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to review, but if you did, I did want to open it up to any questions.
Haven't yet. We just
That's okay.
got it when we got here. So.
I can review it with you, but to sum it up real quick, really what Enterprise is able to do is we were able to analyze the police department's budget, both operating and capital budget, for the past few years and apply what it would look like So on the top right, you will see just a bird's eye view of what their fleet is, which is 34 vehicles. They are currently acquiring about 2.8 vehicles per year based on their trend, which means it would take just over 12 years to replace their fleet. What Enterprise could do is propose that we replace their fleet about every 5 years at or about the same budget, and that would do a lot of different things for the police department. Specifically, it would lower the operating expense, specifically fuel and maintenance. The newer the vehicle is, less maintenance problem it has, higher gas mileage. It increases driver safety. So if you look at the fleet, 41% are over 9 years old currently. And also employee retention. Just in general, teams are happier and the newer, safer vehicles has more features. Now, how we're able to do that, we really help government municipalities with the acquisition and the resale of the vehicle. So a benefit is that we're able to privatize the resale, getting more money back so that you can reuse that equity in order to create a sustainable fleet. I'm going to pause there. I know that's a lot of information, but I do want to open it up in case there are any questions.
Question. I have one.
Sure.
Basically, you know, it's been the city's standard operating. We add slowly or whatever. On your 5 years, is it just a complete swap all at once, or do you do the same thing?
Sure. So that's a great question. What we really do is we analyze data. So we're looking at mileage, age, and equity position. We will make recommendations to you. Really think of us as financial consultants when it comes to the automotive industry. And then it really comes up to the deciding factors, the decision makers here, whether they would want to do many at once versus a couple at a time. So for instance, Chief Clark would like to do a handful each year to stay consistent so that there's that revolving door of new vehicles coming in. Where we work with other municipalities in New Mexico where first year they want to rip the Band-Aid off, replace half their fleet right away, and then gradually do the others. So we will make that recommendation to you, but ultimately, we're looking for a long-lasting partnership. We're in it to benefit with you guys. We listen to you and apply what you're looking for.
Okay, awesome. I had a moment to speak with Chief Clark before this, and he gave an example, and that was several minutes ago. Who did you talk to? What municipality did you talk to? Berlin. And how many, approximately how many municipalities in the state do you have? I know not you, Enterprise.
Sure. In the state, I'd have to count, I want to say, just naming some off like that, we work with Luna County, Grant County, Silver City, Elephant Butte Irrigation, City of Berlin, just naming a few offhand. But across the nation, we work with 2,400 government entities, and our retention rate is 97%. So we're able to retain high number because we provide a lot of value. I'm actually going to open that up to Chief Clark. We've had a lot of conversation, and I'd like him to share with us the program.
Yeah, I think it'd be very beneficial because normally we have to acquire, say, 300,000 because we're going to buy everything up front, and then this you're getting, say, you're getting 5 vehicles, but you're pushing them into 5 years. You're basically getting it broken out into smaller chunks. But you know, adding vehicles every year, which would change your lease, but you're not having to come up with that big chunk of money every year, which seems like a burden for the city to come up where we can be able to have a consistent flow of new vehicles in our fleet.
So a unique benefit that Enterprise has is our flexible financial model that we use for governments. It's called an open-ended equity lease. And really, that would allow Chief Clark to buy double the amount of vehicles at or around the same budget he's currently at between operating and capital. So that would be a benefit directly for the police department. Also, our maintenance program is a huge benefit to multiple municipalities. On page 3 at the bottom, I actually have an example of New Mexico municipality, and their maintenance spend went from $118 per unit down to $103 on our maintenance program just with our oversight. So they've seen a large impact in savings.
Well, if he starts ordering like a Mercedes-Benz for as his captain's car or whatever, might let us know, you know.
Bentley.
Oh, excuse me, a Bentley, okay.
With the driver?
Yeah.
I'd like one too.
Is there a, would you have to lock in a contract for X amount of years to receive all these benefits? Or can it be a yearly? 'Cause I'm just saying that, it fluctuates, our revenue fluctuate. We can have good years, we can have bad years, but I'd hate to be locked into something for 10 years and be obligated for 10 years and not be a little difficult for us to meet that obligation. So.
Absolutely, great question. So our vehicles are on leases, but they're not a traditional dealer lease, so there's no damage fee or mileage fee. It's different. As far as governments, we understand they go up and down, but we work with a lot of governments. We're able to work within those budgets. So if we're replacing Chief Clerks at 5 years, the term of the lease is that 5 years, but there's nothing that says that you have to continue past that 5 years if you don't want to, and we're able to do that, work into that budget at a cost-effective price. We do a lot of budget workshops, so each year there'd be a specific client strategy manager that would sit down, work within the budget, see where they're looking at, where the vehicle safety is, equity. So year 4 may come around and equity position may be great, and we may say, hey, I know you're supposed to keep this till year 5, but year 4 is looking great. That's happening to a lot of our clients who bought during COVID right now, and they're actually making a profit off of those vehicles. Versus year 5 may come around and they say, hey, equity is not doing great in the market right now. How do you feel about holding this another year? And ultimately, the decision makers here would make that decision. We just come with recommendations.
Mr. Moran, I know this is probably a little new to you, but I'm sure you've talked. Do you feel like this would be beneficial in the budget process?
So we sit down with Chief Clark on Wednesday to discuss preliminary budgets. I've told Chief Clark since the beginning that if he can make it fit in his budget, I would leave that decision up to him and the commission. It's something new. This could potentially be a pilot program for the rest of the city, so we may try it with the police department first and see how it goes. And the other thing I asked him to do was to reach out to other agencies in the state that have, as you said, get references.
Well, Lynn could speak nothing but rave reviews of their program. They've been in it for 2 years, and I didn't think anything positive, because before we wasn't able to get the number of vehicles with the dollars that we get annually, and was able to get a lot more vehicles to be able to keep the maintenance costs down and actually have vehicles that we can rely on to take to training and stuff like that and not break down.
I think an analysis of this would be beneficial, so we look forward to those results. Anything further from you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nope, that's it. The last thing, just we're able to satisfy due diligence through Sourcewell. You are Sourcewell members, and we are awarded that contract. So a lot of hands out the question, so just like to bring that up. But is there anything else I could answer for anybody?
Questions? No, it looks not. Thank you. We appreciate you coming and presenting this evening. Certainly giving us something to look at.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
The last thing I have is, I just want to thank Parks and Rec, Water and Sewer for the magnificent job that they did in front of the fire and police and the city hall. And they did an amazing job.
Awesome. I appreciate it. All right. Any further questions? Hearing none. Fire Chief.
Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, so I've been in discussions with Mr. Camp out at the pallet yard and the county as well, since technically he's county. And we've explored other options besides him burning in a pit. And he's looked at getting roll-off dumpsters. Well, those are going to cost him about $20,000 a month. So what we've come up with is he's going to make like a large incinerator that is completely controlled, like almost like a big barbecue pit, that, you know, the damper, they can close it, control their flame, everything is completely enclosed. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. I believe that's the route he's wanting to go, so that everything is, it's not just an open flame.
Has there been a timeline kind of determined on that?
No, sir. It's just some stuff that we've been discussing.
There's nails.
And that seems to be about the best route he can go to be actual feasible. I have, the fireworks have been ordered for the 4th of July.
Okay.
It'll be the same show as last year, same price. I got it at 7,800. By ordering now, I got my price locked in. Due to the tariffs and stuff, we don't know what the fireworks are gonna do, and they all come from China. So my order's already, I turned in the invoice today, and ours is already taken care of. So trying to get ahead of that. And then Mr. Friesen, Brad Friesen has agreed, when I talked to him, that they would probably do the show again. They would do it this year. So Western Fire and Safeties, they've started their yearly inspections of all the fire department extinguishers. Our numbers for March, EMS was 238 calls, interfacility transfers 61, airport transport 17, cancel refusal DOAs 52, Tatum 12, and fire was 24 calls. So for the first quarter, total EMS was 645, interfacility transfers 161, cancel refusal DOAs 133, airports 52, Tatum calls 36, and 61 fire calls. So that's all I have.
Questions, commissioners? I have one. Are we preparing our 4th of July resolution?
So
it's getting close.
Yes, I have Matthew Ritchie, the fire marshal. It's on him this year.
It's on him.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So he is working on that, though. We have been in discussions about that, and we got to see as we get closer where we're at with the drought and everything.
I agree. Okay. Guess that's it. Thank you. Commissioner Bowe.
Yes. Again, want to thank everybody for being here tonight. We appreciate you taking time out to be a part of our commission meeting. Much appreciated. This past Saturday at Chaparral Park, we had some Lovington youth. I wrote down some things here. Lovington Robocats. I just want to make sure I pronounce that correctly. They were out there helping with the Lovington Rotary Club and the Rotary Interact Club, staff of Lovington Parks, Grants Department, HR was out there. Just want to tell you all, thank you very much for being out there, making a difference. It's very important, especially getting youth out there and having them participate, teaching them to take care of what we have. And that was really nice to see. So I just wanted to put a thank you out for that. I see our road is coming close to completion. I know we still have stuff to do, but it's a good visual, seeing the signs getting narrower, closer together. So
we go across the intersection.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, but I mean, it's coming along nice. And I just want to put out there, as far as everybody, help out our local businesses. Our streets will be open here, so we have no reason to not shop local, buy local, eat local. I want to make sure everybody does that. And I said, help out our businesses, help out our community. Every dollar that you spend out here helps out greatly. So thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Trader.
I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner White.
Okay.
All right. Melissa.
I don't have anything for right now.
Okay. We're gonna be talking later, right?
Yeah.
Okay. City Manager.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have nothing to add that wasn't in my city manager report, which you received last week. Just GRTs are due out this week, and also we're still seeking up to 2 commissioners for Thursday's finance director interviews. If anyone's available, I believe it's between 9 and 11. I'll be happy to stand for any questions.
Commissioners. Commissioner Bowe.
Yeah, I had 2 questions, David, and I'll address this, I don't know if I should address it to you or Crystal, as far as with the roads. A couple meetings ago, I brought up that we'll start having to pay back, what is the amount, 2.4 million or something?
No, it's just under that. It's not even quite 2 that we owe
For the Main Street project.
Right, right,
to NMDOT. We have 4 years after completion date
right.
to pay that back.
Mhm.
So that's where it needs to be looked at for maybe ICIP list, putting some funding towards that, things like that we need to look at in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we don't forget about it.
Yes, sir.
I know with budget and everything else, and I wanted to bring that up. And also talking about the budget, I know a few meetings ago I brought up, we were talking about the Sinclair, as far as with our water rates and everything over there. I asked if we were taking and revising that as far as what we were doing. You mentioned that it was in the progress or process.
Correct, sir. Currently, just this week, or last week, they sent a proposed renewal of the 3 wells for fresh water that the plant uses, which is in their yard. And in that renewal, they're proposing to bring it up to pay the same industrial rates that we charge for anybody else. But the mayor and the commissioners, I just barely got it. I gave it to the city attorney tonight. In terms of the effluent, we've analyzed the figures, but we have not renewed that contract yet. It needs to be done.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just curious because I know I've asked about it and I haven't heard anything about it, so.
Yes.
I just
We're
wanted
doing
to
an
know.
analysis of how much of what comes through our wastewater treatment plant comes from that plant. So I can provide that study if you need it. Yes.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to seeing it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions? I have one that relates to what it, basically one of the discussions that we've had already, and that is with us being this close to the Main Street reopening, as far as the state and the contractor is concerned, we talked about a grand reopening of Main Street, but since we didn't have a target date, do we want to, are we close enough that we can set a target date? Because I really hate to hold off.
Yeah, so if they don't cancel this Thursday's weekly meeting, that's where I'm hoping to get a better target date from. But
Okay.
it should be close to the end of this month. Middle of next month would work really great because then we wouldn't have any overlap.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Crystal, that one light on Mandy, the one that got broken off.
So they still have some demo and some fixing to do in that area. That's where they were going to come back to that intersection and do that. I have that in my report that I was going to get in just a minute.
We're jumping the gun. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Any further questions for the city manager?
On that waste for the Navajo, Patrick, I mean, could they ever use that injection well we have right there instead of running it through our plant? Have we ever considered that?
We'd have to take a look at what the chemical makeup of that effluent was and see if it was compatible to the disposal well. I can't remember off the top of my head what zone that well disposes of or how many barrels per day. My guess is that well probably doesn't have enough capacity to take all of their water, but it's something we could look at, talk to the disposal company, and maybe get them a sample and see if that's something that's possible. But there's probably going to be incompatibility with that effluent and the formation it's going into. That would be my guess, but we could look at it and see.
I don't remember all the figures off the top of my head, but I did all the conversions because the contract from 1992 was in barrels, so you have to convert it to gallons. But the figure that did stick out to me was that on average, 26% of what comes through our wastewater treatment plant comes from them.
That'd be nice to relieve at least some of that. That way we'd have more capacity.
Well,
probably be more of expense, less of expense cost for us as well.
Well, I think it would
Yeah.
reduce some of the wear and tear. I'm not really sure how that equipment functions, but I would imagine it would reduce wear and tear, and then also open up some opportunity for, residents, future residents to use that capacity that's there as opposed to the refinery, so.
Yeah, even half, if we can pump half down that well, it'd be, half of the 26% would be nice. Just something to think about.
I think that well was taking 5,000 barrels a day, somewhere around there. We could take a look at what the royalty is that the city gets and calculate that, or look at OCD records. But we also have to see what the capacity is too. So I can't remember off the top of my head. Do you know, David, about how many gallons per day they send to us?
I have it, but I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
I wasn't ready for that question.
Sure.
So. But I have it. It's a PowerPoint and completed it, so.
Yeah, just something to
Decent
think
amount.
about or something to add to the conversation, please.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Ms. Ball?
Yeah, well, Mayor and Commissioner, so Main Street, the paving's complete. There'll be striping at the end of this week and into next week. Of course, we have the red flashing lights that are on Central and Washington. The Jackson Avenue light is waiting for Lee County Electric to finish their work, to energize the power there. We can't do anything until Lee County Electric finishes their portion of it. The intersection of Main and D, of course, still has some modifications with the pinholes and things like that that got damaged prior before. So they're working on that. That should be towards the end of the month that intersection is going to be complete. The NMDOT from Santa Fe that sets those intersection lights is due to come down next week. So that's why the striping and all has got to get put down. And then, of course, there'll be small closures that'll still happen from time to time, just for sidewalk, curb, and gutter work that's going on, or maybe some electrical work that needs people to be out in the street, so they'll kind of push traffic off of one lane or something for a while. But no big closures anymore. Main Street will stay open for the most part. And then my Jackson Avenue pavement was completed from 17th to 13th. Demolition for the new curb line has started between 11th and 13th Street. All the trees that were in the easement from 9th to 13th Street have been removed. So if you drive through there, you're going to see how it's not all, there's no trees no more. The issue with the contractor, so the contractor and the engineer's control points we were having some issues with some fences and some carports being in easement, out of easement. So the engineer is actually, they're on site this afternoon and they'll be on site all day tomorrow. We're fixing those control points, just make sure we don't encroach on anybody's property or that we don't damage anybody's property when it's rightfully in their property line, because we are not taking anyone's property in this project. We are only using our 60-foot right. So then the Albertsons project, everybody's noticed that's moving along really great. I've talked to the contractors pretty much every couple of days. Everything's going smoothly over there. I did find some old drain lines and stuff and found out it's the storm drain system up there. So they weren't expecting to find that and back off in there where it is, but I did tell them Main Street used to run straight up through there, and that drain was not on that curved line. It was over on Main Street. So then that's when they figured out that's what it was. So we got that going on. The area to the south of Albertsons where we're doing the entrance, they're going to start utilities work in the next week or two, and from the utilities work then they'll go into the paving work, and so that access is due to be completed in about 3 to 4 months. So there will be some more shutdowns on North Main when they have to get in there and do the deceleration lane, and when they have to remove the inside curbing, and of course when they have to restripe and paint for that area. I did have an ask for the Chaparral Park not to turn off the water until after, or not to start the sprinklers till after dark soccer practice.
Yeah, we adjusted that.
Okay, because yeah, we were at soccer practice and water's coming on and we're moving over here, and then it comes on and we're moving back over here, and yeah, it was kind of crazy. So just that was my ask. Okay, any questions for me?
Questions? Commissioner Bolt?
Yes, on Main Street, the striping, how are they going to do that?
So we will have a controlled center lane for turning, right?
Okay.
And then we'll have the north and southbound lanes, and then we'll have bicycle lanes. And then you have your intermediate parking on the sides.
Okay. And when they anticipate on starting that?
Thursday, they're gonna start striping. They said
Okay.
Thursday and Friday, they'll be striping. They'll
Okay.
start that.
Yeah,
And it
but-
may go into next week some, but they plan on starting Thursday.
Because I know that was discussed, that's how it was gonna be done. I
Yes.
just wanted to make
That
sure
is
that
still-
we were, okay, thank you. Good.
Anyone else? We are remembering to restripe Avenue D from Main Street to Love.
Yes, that is still in, that will still
The
happen.
turn
The
lane.
Sandbars here, that
Yes.
turn lane and all that, yes.
Whatever we want to call it, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're striping people's a different contractor.
Right.
Constructors doesn't actually, they bring in a subcontractor
course.
for that work. So rather than bringing him in 2 different times and paying those additional mobilization fees, they're just gonna do it all at once.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you for your report.
All right, and then, did we have a discussion item time? Not really? So I'm gonna hand you guys these real quick.
Okay.
This is just some property out by the country club that I've had some interest in. It's 15 acres. I just want to kind of gauge your guys' interest on selling this property in an RFP, and what kind of cost or proposal would you want from it? And of course, me and the attorney have discussed about doing some studies on the environmental studies on the property and everything to relieve us from any of those kind of liabilities. But if you're not interested in even looking at it, and of course I gotta look and see if that acreage is part of the water treatment effluent, right, the effluent waters. If it's part of that plan and they have to have so many acreages to do that, we wouldn't be able to sell it anyways. But if you guys have no interest, I don't wanna go into all that work if you guys don't wanna get rid of it anyways, so.
And it comes to my understanding that there was an individual a while back asked, and I presented to Crystal. And this other individual asked here recently, and I presented one. I just said the avenue to go is go talk to Crystal. And what it is that piece of property sits right at the edge of the golf course on
Yeah, it
right
does
there on
have
the
a road, it does have
southwest
a
side.
road access to it.
And it is, I mean, it would take a good developer just to develop that because it has a slope. It would have to be leveled. I know Dan Field has utilized it for grazing out there with some of his cattle, but I believe on the records it doesn't indicate that that's part of the circles of the farm. But still, just to verify that, to clarify that would be good. But it will take a lot to develop that, and that would be a prime place for housing development for our area, especially the country club. It's limited. They're very limited, and it only has that and the property owners next to it and the ones that decided what they also indicated they're going to do some housing development as well.
Correct.
And it'd be nice to see that all develop. At least that would help. It would help the club out as well as Lovington out for more housing development.
Correct, and we've known from what, the other developers have said about water wells, the state will allow individual property owners to go ahead and put a well here, so it's these big divisions that they don't want to do a lot of wells at one time. So I don't think this is large enough to hit that category and deter them by the state, so.
You're asking for the interest of
Yeah,
the
just your
commission. I
interest.
know, but I mean, how do you want that officially?
Just say it. I mean, this is just a discussion, so that's.
Well,
If you guys are veering away from the discussion, then I'll know you don't want to. You don't.
I'm not veering away, but I'd like to have a side talk with you on it.
I can look into this further then and kind of get a little more research on it and then present it on what
Absolutely.
you guys would like.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I think it would be good to make your presentation to the entire board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that. Anything else
You?
from me?
Yeah.
Have anything else for
That's
me?
it? Oh, no, not for you.
That's all I got.
Okay, all right. Any questions before we move on? All right, Counselor.
Mayor Commissioners, just a couple of things. I don't see any comments on agenda items other than closed session. Two other things that I've talked to city manager about is one, putting back on our agenda the issue of the quitclaim deed from the defunct City of Lovington Housing Authority to Eastern New Mexico. If you recall, at that time, there was some discussion about what's going to happen with the properties that are still there, I think, east of the high school. So something to think about, but we need to get back on the agenda. The other is, I know that at least one of the commissioners has requested to get back into closed session to discuss the issues that the city's dealing with regarding our well field. And so, ready to go. I think we just have to coordinate one other person's schedule on that. I think we're just looking at how many closed sessions to do in one evening, but that is something we still need to get back to. Other than that, I don't have anything else as far as tonight's meeting, but happy to stand for any questions.
Okay, questions? Oh, Commissioner Bolton.
I got one and another one. I was going to ask about the oil field litigation that we could discuss afterwards, because I didn't think we wanted to bring it out in the open meeting.
Well, it's an opportunity to talk about it in a closed session, so we take advantage of that.
Right. And wanted to find out if you knew anything or heard anything about the proposed solar plant, where we're at as far as that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we talked a little bit about it a couple weeks ago, and so I think that'll be what we discuss coming up this evening.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we'll talk in a while. All right, brings us, sorry, caught back up here. Should bring us to our public comment time. At this time, we ask that if you have something you would like to present to the commission, please advance to the podium, state your name, take 3 minutes or less, and tell us what you want us to hear. Oh, Mr. Points.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jim Woodson, and I'm on a mission. I've already gone to a few boards already. I've gone to the county board, I've gone to the fair board, and what I'd like to see is veterans parking throughout the city. I'd like to see about, I came in late, but what I'd like to see is a possible ordinance and to start it. And I think if we start it, I think the county will start it, and I would like to go to the state and eventually go to DC. Because I believe that we have a commander-in-chief that will support it. We have can't think of the word right now, the handicap parking.
Okay.
And we have a few other parking spots throughout the nation, such as the Purple Heart and the Medal of Honor parking. But I'd like to see it for all general veterans, period, to do it. I think it's about time that this country start somewhere it started, and I think this country needs it for all the veterans that are out there. So that's where I'm at right now. I have a positive from the county. I've got a positive from the fair over there, because they're going to be redoing their parking. And so I come to you and ask if you guys could consider doing it for all the places in this city and the merchants. And then one other thing I have is that over there on 9th and Bryan or Lecker, by the football field, I think something needs to get done with it as striping. Because everybody that goes south on 9th, Bryan or Lecker, they want to go all the way over to the right-hand side to make a left-hand turn. And I've noticed when you have one starting it, you have everybody else following. They're not getting in the middle and the left to make a left. and getting them the right to make it right.
There's just a 2-lane road.
Huh?
It's just a 2-lane road. It's not meant to have a turning lane.
So it's okay for them to go all the way to the right-hand side to make a left-hand turn?
I do.
But you don't drive that way. Yeah.
It doesn't have to have a designated turning lane.
Well, there's also over there, if you make it on the north side by the high school, there is that turn, that right-hand turn lane, and there's that 4-way stop.
That's designated.
Well, there could be a stripe, could be a designated left-hand turn and a right-hand turn down there, because if not, there's going to be a big accident down there. I can see it. Especially with these almost non-drivers, or very early.
High school kids that went there and drove?
Huh?
The high school kids that drove there?
Well, the high school kids that drive now and don't care how they drive. But no, that can be a very dangerous, especially when you have semis going down there and turning. And they do occasionally. They'll come out, they'll come all the way, they'll jump down Brian Rulac of the 9th, go all the way down to Bolero and fill up. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. Anyone else? I see no one moving. All right, we're moving on. Brings us to our non-action item. Shannon, are you going to take care of this one?
I believe everyone was going to, or we can do it together.
Okay.
We're going to open the public hearing at 6:30. And it's for Elton Grayho Bar and Grill doing business as Elton Grayho Mexican Seafood Liquor License. They want a Restaurant B beer, wine, and spirits license with on-premises consumption and patio service. Maybe you want to explain why or something?
Yes, so most of you know the Cangrejo Bar and Grill was previously owned by someone else. It's a gentleman out of Hobbs that owned the Habaneros Bar and Grill there. And so he no longer owns the one in Lovington, passed on to different owners. They're actually in the audience now. We've got the Vega family, Eric, Jesus, and his other son. They're going to be the new owners of the Cangrejo, doing business as the Cangrejo Mexican and Seafood. It's been a journey since September of last year to get the names changed, get the environmental to come out again and issue new permitting. I believe the fire department went out and had to do inspections again. The environmental department did that as well. And it was a process with the alcohol and gaming. It wasn't easy, but we were able to get it done doing the DBA. That was the only way we were going to be able to get it done without having to jump through way more hoops than what we've already done. So that's what they're trying to do, but they wanted to reiterate that it's not the same ownership that it was prior. You know, there's been some conflicts in the past, and just to kind of let you know that they do plan on doing everything correctly and learn from previous mistakes to avoid those conflicts. And they invite you, if you approve, if you invite you to their restaurant so you can get to know what they're doing. And just, it's one less empty building that we want to have. And they've done some modifications, they've done some renovating just to kind of get it up and going when it's ready to get their license. Any questions for the new owners or myself?
Mr. Bolt.
And I'm glad you touched on that. I just want to make sure that there's an understanding as far as doing things correctly.
Absolutely.
That's very, very important. I don't want to have any other empty buildings either.
Right.
But as long as things are done correctly, we don't want to have any issues.
No, absolutely. And that's something that they wanted you to know, that it's not the same ownership, it's actually new ownership, and they have learned through the old ownership what were the consequences and stuff, that penalties that they've been through. And so they are working on how to avoid that. So and they want to be here for many, many years. They're lifelong residents of Lovington and want to be here for a very long time.
So we can definitely use another restaurant.
Absolutely.
We can definitely use more good food. So like I said, I just hope all guidelines are followed in many years.
Absolutely. And we'll help them through that process. And, that's kind of part of our retention program that we have. We definitely don't want them to go away.
Right.
And so any advice that we can help, we're more than happy to assist them to help them have a running business. Anything else?
Any other questions? Thank you. We appreciate you speaking on their behalf at this point. At this time, I guess we'll be entering into the public hearing part. Having just gone through one of these last week myself, basically anyone that would like to speak for this being this liquor license being approved or against, if you would come forward, you will be asked to state your name, and then at that point we'll be asking what you would like us to, you would like to be entered on the record. I guess we'll be moving on then. If there, you can show it that we might have the owners just come and, doesn't have to be all, but someone to come up and speak as the owner.
Hello, my name is Eric Vega. I may not be necessarily born here, but I've been a resident of Lovington for many, many years. Raised here as far as I can remember. I did know the previous owner, and his methods weren't some that I enjoyed, but I have always been a stickler for the rules. So believe me, I'm more than adamant to just follow along, and it's okay to have fun, but also obey the rules. That's my motto. Any questions?
Basically what they, having noticed this in Hobbs last week, they just ask the owners, are you planning on conducting this in a business-like manner that will benefit the city of Lovington?
Of course.
I know, we're in a hearing, so everything here is actually has to be vocalized and whatever. So anyway, we appreciate that very much. We wish you good luck in your business. We look forward to you being a part and a contribute to our economy and our city. And we have, if you need any help, we have assistants here at the City Hall that can help you achieve whatever you need to do.
I will.
All right. And we appreciate you coming forward. Like I say, it's just better to have at least someone come forward. There's not a lot to a public hearing or a vote on it. If we as a commission are somewhat limited as to what we even if we vote no, the state of New Mexico can overrule and continue on. But anyway, it's kind of a really just a process. I'm sorry.
A blessing.
Well, formality. Thank you. That was the word I was trying to come up with. But we have to go through it, and again, we wish you well. And with that, I guess we will close this public hearing. And good luck.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
All right. Brings us to our action items.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2025-027, approval of El Cangrejo Bar and Grill LLC doing business as El Cangrejo Mexican Seafood Liquor License.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for consideration of approval of this resolution. Any discussion? Hearing none. Shannon?
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogt?
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes.
I'd like to make a resolution.
Oh, before you, I'm sorry. I promised Evelyn, I'm sorry, staff, now that we have approved that, they are really trying to get open. So I asked, I'm going to sign it tonight, if you can expedite it and get it to Santa Fe as quickly as possible. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Now.
You're good. I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2025-028, adopt 2027 to 2031 senior center infrastructure capital improvement plan.
All right.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Consideration of this. Ms. Fay.
How are you guys tonight?
Great.
How Doing great.
And commissioners and audience. Our capital outlook, our infrastructure and capital improvement plan for 27 through 31 is different from the actual city of Lovington's. It has a whole different timeline and everything. So it is a time for ours, and that's why we're in front of you today. We have set up our ICIP ranking, the senior center renovations, secured parking and awning, transportation and vehicles, and those are 1, 2, and 3, and then HVAC replacement is 4, IT upgrades is 5, and kitchen equipment is 6. And that's how we ranked it, that we'd like to do that. The City of Lovington is committed to enhancing the quality of life for its senior residents by modernizing and improving its senior citizen center. To do this, we have developed a plan to use in proposed capital outlay funding. This project is essential for improving accessibility, safety, and community engagement, ensuring that Lovington seniors have a modern, welcoming, and functional space to support their social health and recreational needs. We hope to double our percentage and feel that number is attainable. Over 20% of Lovington's population is 60 years or older, with many relying on senior center for socializing, health programs, and daily activities. However, the current facilities, small, congested areas limit access for individuals with mobility challenges and contribute to isolating some of the community's most vulnerable residents. By investing in a well-planned, data-driven renovation, the City of Lovington is taking a proactive step toward ensuring that local seniors have a high-quality, enriching environment where they can thrive for years to come. And then on the back page, it has how we had planned to spend the money out for the years from 2027 to 2031 on each senior resident renovations, and that's what that graph is. Any questions?
Questions, commissioners? All right, I have one for our city manager. Since this is coming from your office, I'm assuming you are recommending that we go ahead and pass this resolution.
Yes, sir.
All right. With that, Ms. Shannon?
Commissioner Bolt,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Appreciate it. All right.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2025-029, approval for PPA and advertisement of ordinance 610, $20,000 from LEDA funds to TD's barbecue renovation.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion second for consideration for approval of this. Who is that back in your court? Huh?
Do you,
I don't know. Who's here for
are you
TD?
presenting TDs?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you want to present for him? LEDA funds?
Yeah.
I'm the one that submitted the request.
Yes. Oh, see.
Well, I walked in and everybody was looking at me, y'all scared me.
Perfect timing.
Sorry. Yes, the Lovington EDC submitted at their last board meeting, made a decision to contribute $20,000 towards this project. Submit the request into Mr. Miranda so it can go through you. I did speak to the Economic Development Department today regarding TDs, and they are still working on the paperwork, and what we're asking and what we plan on doing is to have a project participation agreement that involves the city and the state together so we can monitor as a team the EDD and as well as us, and we have the same metrics. And the way they want to disperse it, so the state of New Mexico is offering $150,000 plus our 20, and they want to do it in 3 tranches. And so actually the local funds will go at the very end. So the 2 disbursements will be the state's money, at the very end will be the local money, just in case
If they were to fail, they would really have to reimburse the city. Anything, it would be strictly the state, and it is a 5-year agreement that they are going to be entering in. But I know I spoke to TDs over the weekend, and they are going to be doing a title search on the property. He knows that that's at his own expense, and so they are doing that now. And then I am waiting on to confirm the name that they are going to be using on the deed, the new deed that the city will be putting up. But that's what's going on right now with the, any questions for me for that project?
Questions? The PPA that we have in our packet, it is ready for approval?
Not right now.
Well, that's why, okay. The reason I asked
The only
that,
thing that you have on your agenda right now is to approve to use $20,000 from the LEDA account.
I know, the way it's written though, it was approval for PPA and then stop there and advertisement. So we're gonna have to amend.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
advertising?
Okay,
And I believe that's going to be in about 30 days.
okay, not a problem.
Just
Okay.
All right, any further questions? All right, Mrs. White.
So I'd like to amend my motion to just say approval for advertisement of the ordinance.
All right. We have a second on the amendment. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Shannon?
Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Okay, now,
Finance report? Or just-
we do, well,
Do you want to?
do we want to go over the budget report? Do we, or is this
That's
mainly
our
informational?
That was informational, yes, sir. This
Okay.
is-
All right.
Such as bills?
Yeah.
No, we're good. I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay.
Second.
Have a motion and second, pay the bills. Take a minute to evaluate those. Well, we're taking a minute just for the audience's sake. After this, we will be going into closed session, so you don't have to stay. You're welcome to stay, but if you would like to retire, you're certainly welcome to. And again, if you do, thank you for coming this evening.
I had a question on page number 2, towards the bottom, vendor 14112, Centerline Supply. It says street vinyl tape for Deerdruff for $4,700.
I question that expense myself, so I asked the street department, because that is always getting worn away, and we're constantly looking for new ways. It just gets beaten up, but $4,700 seems like a lot for a
Seems like a lot.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And I remarked that to you just this afternoon. So waiting to hear back from Bernardo on that.
And I know that vinyl street, it is expensive.
That's a
Vinyl
lot.
street stacking, it is costly with contractors.
And I don't know if it's going to last 6 months.
Yeah, and I understand that.
But it's a lot. I didn't know.
I don't know if there's something else that we can, some other kind of
Because they
paint
kept
or
having to
whatever.
repaint it.
Right,
And that's why
right.
they went to the vinyl stacking.
You know, because I get Sharpie on my hand and I can't get it off.
I know.
You know,
But you can't do it. The
Yeah.
road, tires just wear everything off.
yeah, that just seemed an excessive amount for
We can
vinyl
double
tape.
check that.
I agree, sir.
That was the only one I had.
That's the only one? All right. Thank you, Commissioner Bowe, we appreciate that. All right, Shannon?
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes. All right. Ms. White? Oh, I'm sorry, we will be going into closed session. And afterward, upon opening back up, we'll just be adjourned.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to section 10-15-1 NMSA 1978, subsection H-8, lease of property on Stiles Road.
Motion and second. Go into closed session. Shannon?
Commissioner Keo?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes. All right, we'll take a quick break in case anybody